Hi, everyone. We're just going to get started in just a few minutes. So hang on, and we will be back with you very shortly. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar about CSS's strategy and approach to community schools. Just a few logistical notes before we get started. I've placed everyone on mute so that we can get rid of any background noise you may have. But as questions come up for you, please type them into the chat box. If we have time at the end, I'll try to respond to any questions that come up. And if not, we'll send out a list of responses to all questions after the conclusion of the webinar. So let's get started. My name is Erin O'Leary, and I am the Senior Director at the Center for Supportive Schools. As you may know, starting in 2014, the New York City Department of Education and Mayor Bill de Blasio's office decided to support underperforming schools by providing an opportunity for these schools to become community schools. Each school partners with a lead community-based organization to support the implementation of a community school strategy. CSS has been deeply involved in this work over the past year, and I'm looking forward to sharing more about our community school work with you today. A primary part of my role this year has been directing our community school strategy across our New York City school community school partners. So I'm excited to share with you today during our session a little bit more about CSS as an organization, our approach to our community school partnerships, and key aspects of our community school strategy. So let's start with a brief overview of who we are at CSS and why we were positioned to become a key player in the community school initiative across New York City. At CSS, we are really driven by the vision that one day all children will thrive in schools that graduate them prepared for the rigors of college and lives filled with meaningful work, active citizenship, and personal fulfillment. Our goal is to partner with schools to help them build safe, supportive, engaging, and inspiring environments for teaching and learning. And we have been doing this work partnering with schools for the past 35 years. Our team at CSS not only works very deeply in New York City, but in many communities across the country, using our evidence-based models to support school partnerships and achieve improved school outcomes. To give you a better sense of our specific reach in New York City, where we have the most intensive focus on our community school work, you can see our list of partner schools on the slides up on your screen. Those schools that I've highlighted are our community school partners, where CSS serves as that lead community-based organization, partnering with the schools to implement their community school strategy. As you can see, we have almost 50 partners across all 5 boroughs, including 9 community schools across the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Queens. And in addition to this list of partners, CSS is currently working with an additional 35 to 40 schools in New York City who are expected to come on board as partners with us for the 16-17 school year to implement our evidence-based programming. So now that you have a bit more context about CSS, let's turn to talking more specifically about community schools. And let's start with a common understanding of what we really mean when we talk about community schools. The definitions that resonate with CSS's approach, as well as the New York City Department of Education's approach to community schools, are that a community school represents a strategy to organize resources and share leadership so that academics, social services, and supports are integrated into the fabric of schools to help them better serve the needs of students and families. Community schools also align resources with vision and purpose to result in improved student learning, stronger families, and healthier communities. At CSS, our approach to community schools really focuses on conceptualizing the school as a hub of strategic, data-driven services and support, both internal and external, that again lead to improved student, family, and community outcomes. So as we think about our kind of beginning work with our community school partners, that work really began with a foundation of collaboration with key school stakeholders. This entailed several meetings with school leaders and school leadership teams to better understand the vision for each school and to set expectations for the partnership, ensuring that both CSS and the school were clear about how the partnership would proceed to effectively realize our joint community school vision and improve school and student outcomes. From there, we worked with schools to collect lots of information. We reviewed each school's comprehensive educational plan, reviewed other sources of student data, and school review reports. However, we also conducted surveys with parents, students, and staff, as well as focus groups and one-on-one interviews with parents, students, and staff to learn about successes, challenges, and their perspectives on the directions for the community school work ahead. All of this data was then compiled and shared back to the school community to identify priorities for the community school strategy in each one of our partner schools. And sharing this strategy happened through several mechanisms, through parent meetings, staff meetings, student events, really working on building the community school communications into the daily life of the school. After we had developed our goals and vision for our work with broad buy-in from key stakeholders, we began to implement defined strategies and programs in CSS's areas of expertise, as well as identifying and vetting other organizations who could support identified areas of need. This process of identifying and vetting partners involved meetings with potential partners, reviewing any data available to assess the impact of their programs in areas of need, as well as site visits and demoing products and services as available. This also included meeting and interviewing staff who would be serving on site to the extent possible to ensure that the focus that the partners were bringing in were really the best fit for the school community. With key services and partnerships in place, the work then shifts to evaluating progress and adjusting our strategy as needed throughout the year. This piece has included conducting regular community school team meetings to review progress against community school goals and determine next steps, conducting partner program observations to provide qualitative and quantitative feedback on how programming can be improved to better meet the needs of the school, as well as mid-year and end-of-year more comprehensive reflections with school leadership to ensure we are always working collaboratively with the school within the mindset of continuous improvement. We have used this approach to develop community schools focusing on addressing all of the key elements of what really constitutes the school serving as its hub of services and supports for students and families. By focusing our work on the areas that you see on your screen. So specifically, our work has focused on parent engagement and family services, attendance improvement, after-school enrichment, academic support, youth development, health and social services, community development, and of course, strong instruction, robust engagement, and continuous improvement. All of these components are critical to work in concert with each other in the development of any strong community school. In terms of how, again, we approach this work as an organization, you'll see several areas that are highlighted in yellow. And those areas that we've highlighted are areas where CSS has taken more of the lead in partnering with the school, focusing on capacity building strategies in each of one of those areas. And the areas highlighted in orange are the areas where CSS has focused more in developing external partnerships to support school needs. As we drill down a bit further into our implementation model, a key component of the support CSS has provided to our community school partners has been the implementation of 2 evidence-based programs, Peer Group Connection and Achievement Mentoring, which you can see highlighted on the right side of your screen under those whole school and targeted intervention and prevention initiatives that CSS is bringing to the table in our community school partnerships. So we'll take a little bit of time to explore both of these programs, Peer Group Connection as well as Achievement Mentoring. And as we'll talk about these programs, you'll note that thinking about all of those key components of what it means to be a community school, that these programs are focusing on several of those key components, namely youth development, community development, and parent engagement. So first, we'll talk a little bit about Peer Group Connection. Peer Group Connection is an evidence-based program that leverages upperclassmen students in both middle and high schools to support their transitioning peers. So in middle schools, the upperclassmen 8th grade students are supporting their 6th grade peers who are transitioning into the middle school. In high schools, 11th and or 12th grade peer leaders are supporting their transitioning peer 9th graders. Through PGC, a selected group of these upperclassmen students participate in a daily credit-bearing peer leadership course that is co-taught by members of the school's faculty. This selected group that participates in this daily credit-bearing peer leadership course is a group of students who we call peer leaders. And through that course, these peer leaders are trained to serve as leaders and mentors in the school community. As a part of their course and their training, peer leaders, about once every week, conduct what we call outreach sessions for small groups of younger transitioning students. So again, in middle schools, we have pairs or triads of 8th grade peer leaders working with a group of about 10 to 14 6th graders on this regular basis throughout the school year. In high school, we have pairs of 11th and or 12th grade peer leaders working with groups of about 10 to 14 freshmen on a weekly basis and conducting these outreach sessions. During these weekly outreach sessions, the peer leaders are conducting curriculum-driven activities that help students learn critical social and emotional skills and positive academic and personal behaviors that are essential for their success in school and beyond. Through the curriculum, these hands-on, engaging activities conducted during these outreach sessions focus on topics like goal setting, decision-making skills, communication skills, coping skills, conflict resolution skills, and the list goes on. Also through PGC, where we really highlight our family engagement component, the peer leaders also facilitate an evening event for transitioning students and their families. And this event is really designed to not only welcome the transitioning students and their families into the school, help them get a better sense of what PGC is all about, but most importantly, to help open the lines of communication between parents and their children as they're both making that difficult transition either into middle school or high school. So to give you a better sense of how PGC works in a school and kind of bring this program a little bit to life, we'll take just a few minutes to watch a brief video where you can see PGC in action. This is going to be a brief segment that was actually done by the Today Show and highlights one of our PGC programs in Union City, New Jersey, where PGC has been implemented for several years. So we'll turn to that video now. Just a note that the audio for the video will come through your computer speakers. So you just want to make sure that your speakers are not muted for the duration of the video. After the video is concluded, we'll come back to the webinar and pick up talking a little bit more about PGC and then moving on to talk about some of the other program models we have implemented across our community schools.
Back now at 8:44 with the school leadership program that's inspiring children all across the country to do things they never thought they would be able to do. Natalie's back with this story. Hey, Natalie.
Hey, Anna. And at the core of this program are students getting the skills to be great leaders and help each other through the challenges of high school.
Guys, let's go. Period 2. Let's go.
In the maze of high school, it's easy to feel lost and alone. Senior Anna Perez says when her parents got divorced last year, she had no one to confide in.
I would describe myself as really shy and really quiet and reserved. I couldn't talk about myself. I didn't have a lot of friends.
I was going through a really hard time. Like, everything it wasn't good.
But now Anna's life has been transformed by helping other students through similar struggles. It's part of an innovative program called the Peer Group Connection, now in over 100 high schools nationwide.
How do you think that you can use what you did and push it to the next level?
Senior peer leaders like Anna take a class in leadership skills.
Do you guys agree with that?
Then use those skills to mentor small groups of freshmen.
You feel good about yourself, and it's empowering to be put in a position where people look up to you, and they really do.
Here at Union City High School in New Jersey, Anna and her co-leader, Tito Garcia, meet weekly with their freshmen, helping them with everything from schoolwork to peer pressure to relationships.
A lot of the kids in our groups have family problems. Some of them don't have people to talk to at home.
That's how I feel about to start crying.
It's their time to just talk about anything that they want.
They feel like they're being noticed, and they feel like they have someone to go to.
And the benefits are amazing. Studies show freshmen in peer group have better grades, higher attendance, and fewer discipline problems. Even more profound are the rewards for the seniors.
Overwhelming sense of pride in myself, and because I would have never thought this, and I would have never thought I would be a leader.
Tito says before he was a peer leader, he rarely opened up about anything. Life at home was tough. His family of 5 all living in this tiny one-bedroom apartment. His father worked 2 jobs and was rarely home, leaving Tito feeling disconnected. But being a peer leader taught him how to communicate and express his feelings, skills he's used to get closer to his dad and model for his kids.
A few of my freshmen, they don't have relationships with their father, and they want to do something about it. And I think that's where I can come in to place, because I'm doing that for myself.
And he's not the only one cheering. Last month, over 500 peer leaders and alumni from across the country gathered to celebrate the program's success and its creator, Sharon Rose Powell, president of the Princeton Center for Leadership Training in New Jersey.
We're calling this conference Leadership for Life because studies have shown that the graduates of our peer leadership programs have better communication skills, not only in high school, but in their professional lives.
At the conference, I had the honor of moderating a panel on leadership, which included former peer leader George Hegeman. We first met him 18 years ago.
Tonight on What Works,
in this 1991 nightly news segment about the program. That's George as a high school peer leader, an experience he says gave him the confidence and motivation to fulfill his dreams, going on to play pro football for the Dallas Cowboys and now run a successful mentoring program for kids.
Peer group basically gave me a purpose. It is something that every day that I wake up, I think about. How can I help youth? How can I affect their lives?
It was like the biggest thing for me.
And the program keeps on inspiring. The once shy Anna now dreams of working for the UN, helping refugees around the world.
I didn't realize that I love helping people. It's like my calling to just help people.
Tito's goal? Using his leadership skills to one day build his own business.
In the program, I think I've learned way more about myself than I ever have before, and the newfound leader in me, I think it's amazing.
And this program also has a very special place in our hearts. Its creator, Sharon Rose Powell, is the mother of one of our brilliant producers, Robert Powell. So it really is a tribute to her great work and all that she's done to inspire these kids, and because they're always
So hopefully that was helpful to give you a better sense of how PGC works in the school and what that program looks like. As you heard a bit about in the video, a number of research studies have been conducted about PGC that show its efficacy in promoting student and school outcomes. But the most rigorous of these studies was a 5-year randomized controlled trial funded by the federal government and conducted by Rutgers University. The study showed that students who participated in PGC during their freshman year of high school graduated at a rate of 9 percentage points higher than students who did not participate in the program. Further, the study showed that these results were even greater for male participants who graduated at a rate of 18 percentage points higher than their counterparts who did not participate in the program. So across the board, in both middle and high schools, we see that PGC has the shorter-term outcomes of helping students become more connected to school, more connected to their peers, and that which leads to higher attendance, better academic performance, etc., but also in the long term that this program, as a critical component of our community school model, helps to lead to those longer-term outcomes as well. Another evidence-based model that PGC implements across our community school partners is achievement mentoring. Through achievement mentoring, CSS trains school-based adults to serve as mentors to specifically high-need students with academic, attendance, and behavioral challenges. Through the achievement mentoring model, mentors are provided with training and regular consultation sessions to support them in implementing a positive behavioral reinforcement approach to supporting their mentees. In terms of the structure of the Achievement Mentoring Program and how this works in a school setting, once per week, mentors meet with each of their mentees for at least 20 minutes. During this session, the mentor is bringing with him or her a piece of positive feedback from at least one of their mentee's teachers. Through a structured, curriculum-driven conversation, the mentor supports their mentee in thinking through how they accomplished the positive achievement that had been noted by their teacher and how they can replicate and improve upon that achievement by setting and working on a goal for the following week. Mentors ideally meet with their mentees each week for the entire school year, and ideally mentoring relationships continue for at least 2 years, which has been shown to have the greatest impact on student outcomes. These mentoring meetings are also a place for mentors to support their mentees in thinking through how to address problems, de-escalating any potential crises that the mentee may be approaching, and to generally make sure that we are building a strong relationship between the mentee and the mentor, which we know is a critical component for students feeling safe and supported in their school environment. Another key component of the Achievement Mentoring Program is the mentors connecting with the parents of each of their mentees on at least a monthly basis. And the purpose of this outreach is to share something positive that their child has accomplished, any progress that their child has been able to achieve over the past month, and make sure that those lines of communication with parents are open and positive, so that the school, along with parents, can be working in partnership to support student outcomes. Like PGC, Achievement Mentoring is also an evidence-based model that has been shown to result in students who participate as mentees achieving higher grades, better attendance, fewer disciplinary referrals, and improved social and emotional skills. The final piece of our community school work that I'll spend time talking a little bit about today is our professional learning work. Through a team of experienced consultants who are former teachers and administrators, CSS has been supporting the teaching staff and administrators in our partner schools, specifically focused on Daniel's instructional framework, Domain 2 and Domain 3, which you can see on your screen. Recognizing that there's a close connection between how teachers manage the classroom environment and the quality of instruction happening in that classroom environment. And as you can see, these areas really focus on how are we creating that classroom environment that is both safe and supportive, but also engaging and inspiring. In practice, we have worked to focus on these two domains with school leaders and school staff and in our collaboration with them, identified specific areas within these domains where additional professional learning could be helpful. This has led to implementing some of the practices and models that you see noted on the current slide. This has looked like partnering with schools to implement instructional rounds or intervisitations where teachers can learn from each other and really reflect on their instructional practice. This has also included observations and consultations with school leaders, really working with them to identify what their instructional goals for the year should be and how to implement those goals. It has also looked like developing foundations of professional learning communities. So really working with teacher teams and thinking about how both teacher leaders and team members can work together more effectively and collaborate to improve outcomes in their classrooms. This has also looked like supporting schools in implementing co-teaching models and ensuring that schools are implementing the key pieces of what it means to be an effective co-teaching team across their subject areas. This has also looked like unit planning and grade teams, as well as professional development sessions that are focused on pedagogy, sessions such as asking better questions and asking questions better, how to create more student-centered classrooms, and how do we use assessments for learning. So PGC, Achievement Mentoring, and our professional learning work are three key ways that CSS implements support across those community school components that, again, we've highlighted in yellow as we return to look at the big picture of our community school approach. As you heard, each support is designed to build the school's capacity to better serve the social and emotional needs of students, recognizing that these capacity-building, sustainable approaches are a necessary foundation for supporting students in achieving improved academic and personal outcomes. Through our on-site, full-time CSS community school directors who work based out of each of our partner community schools, we implement the programs that we just discussed, but also focus more broadly on attendance improvement initiatives, parent engagement initiatives, as well as managing our critical external partners who support us in areas including health and social services, academic support, and providing additional after-school enrichment. So speaking of partners, we wanted to take just a little bit of time to highlight a sampling of some of the partners we have brought in this year to work with us in supporting our community school strategies. As a supplement to our attendance intervention and parent engagement work, CSS partnered with Kinvolved, which is an organization that provides software that can be accessed via computer or via smartphone and allows teachers to track attendance in real time on their smartphone or computer in the classroom. With that data entered in the Kinvolved platform, teachers can then easily and quickly text message parents of their students, letting them know if they are absent, if they are late, and if parent support would be helpful in any way. Kinvolved, beyond just the use in terms of texting parents related to attendance, is really an open communication platform for teachers and parents. Teachers can text message parents, and parents can text message back about school events, about homework, about anything that is going to make the parent and teacher relationship stronger as they both work together in partnership to support their children's academic success. Another key component of our community school work, as we saw on the slide before, is health and social services. Across all of our community schools, we have partnered with mental health agencies who have set up formal clinics, mental health clinics, in each of our community school partners. And one such partner who we work with primarily in the Bronx is Astor Services for Children and Families. Through this partnership, we have brought in clinical social workers as well as family caseworkers to provide clinical support to students and support to their families. Through our family caseworkers, we connect families with any community support that meet their needs. We've connected families to legal services, immigration services, housing services, as well as medical partners to meet whatever needs the family may have, that especially those needs that are impacting student attendance and student performance. In the area of academic support, as well as after-school enrichment, we have partnered with a number of partners who provide the dedicated focus on specific areas of need for our schools. One of the programs that we have brought into some of our middle and high schools has been Read 180. This is an online-based literacy intervention program that really focuses on helping lower-level readers achieve grade-level reading proficiency through engaging fun activities that students can engage in alongside a trained Read 180 instructor. We've also partnered with an organization called the Salvadori Center, which implements programs across our community schools that focus on making math and science engaging and captivating for our students. One of the core tenets of the Salvadori Center's program is really thinking about how students learn math and science through project-based learning activities. So as an example, many of our schools implemented one of the Salvadori curriculums that focused on engaging students in learning about and actually building bridges of their own, all the while focusing on key math and science concepts to support their projects. CSS has also worked with an organization called LEAP, or Learning Through an Expanded Arts Program. And through LEAP, which provides a variety of offerings, we have focused on, one, implementing literacy-focused interventions that really use art and other mediums to make literacy engaging for students. We have also partnered with LEAP to work with schools in implementing a public arts program where students work collaboratively together to identify a community issue, research that issue, and then produce a piece of public art that can be displayed in the community representing their views on that particular community issue. Another key partner across some of our community schools has been Brianza's Academic Advantage, as well as A-List Education. Through both of these partners, we've brought in expertly trained tutors in various subjects to really provide students with that dedicated small group or one-on-one academic support to help them focus on critical skills and content areas that will support their academic growth. These tutors have been working in partnership with the teachers in our community schools to make sure that the teacher and the tutor are able to have the capacity to really focus and drill down and provide that dedicated support to students who need that academic support the most. And the last partnership that I'll mention is a partnership with Ramapo for Children, where we have partnered in a few different ways. One, we have partnered with them to do some additional academic coaching in our schools. Two, we've partnered with them to conduct youth development retreats at a camp in upstate New York that they have, which is a great chance for students to develop teamwork and collaboration skills, as well as get out of the city and really experience their peers and have fun in a new setting. And last but not least, we have partnered with Ramapo for Children to do a series of parent workshops in some of our community schools that really focus not necessarily on service delivery to parents, but really around empowering parents in their child's education, focusing on building parents' strategies and skills around how they parent their children and how they can advocate for themselves and their children within their educational setting. So today we have talked about our community school strategy that CSS implements across several schools in New York City. We've learned about some of the key components of that strategy, specifically peer group connection, achievement mentoring, and our professional learning work, and some of the key partnerships that we have implemented in our community schools to supplement and make sure that we are effectively covering all of those core components that are critical to an effective community school strategy. So with that, I will conclude our today's webinar. And thank you all for participating. And please reach out. You can see my contact information on the screen in front of you. Please reach out if you have any questions or would like to learn more about CSS and community schools.